Hi. Jesus had gone to the house of Simon the Pharisee in Luke chapter 7 that Paul Martin helped us look at this week. And Jesus was eating there with him. Jesus wasn't enemies of all the religious leaders. Simon wouldn't have invited him, I don't think, if he wasn't interested in what I had to say. There's another time where the religious leaders told Jesus to leg it because King Herod was after him, so they had his interests at heart. We need to be careful of stereotyping everyone in exactly the same bracket, don't we? I know we don't do that in life at all, but let's not do it in the Bible either. And while Jesus is there, a woman comes in and she anoints his feet with an expensive perfume, and then she begins to weep, and the tears go on Jesus's feet, and she dries his feet with her hair. Now let's remember, hair in the time of Jesus was a really erotic thing, which is why women covered their hair in those days. And Jesus is reclining there eating, and she's doing this, and then she kisses his feet. I mean, before we make Jesus the goodie, let's remember how socially awkward and embarrassing that would be. Imagine if you were there, come for your Sunday lunch, and a woman comes in who has got a questionable past, is known as a dodgy lady, and she does this in front of your guest to you. But Jesus says to Simon the Pharisee, look, mate, she has done this for me. You didn't offer me water to wash my feet. In Jesus' day, the lowest servant would always wash the feet of people because they didn't have trainers and socks. They had sandals, if that, and so their feet would be grotty and grubby, and they would always be washed before a meal or any social occasion. And then his hair should have been anointed with oil as well, as was the custom, but she'd anointed his feet. Jesus is basically saying to him, I think you're taking me a bit for granted, where she realises who I am. He's not boasting, he's just stating a fact. And then Jesus tells him a little story about someone who's forgiven a massive debt and someone who's forgiven a little debt. And he says, who do you think will be the most grateful? And the guy says, the one who's forgiven the greatest debt, I suppose. He's a bit reluctant because he knows that he's the one who's taken it for granted. And isn't it interesting that those of us who have followed Jesus for a long time, who know church ways a fair bit, we can take it for granted almost. We can lose that majesty of who God is. We can lose wonder at what Jesus did on the cross for us. We can lose that horror at that final week of his life when he's utterly betrayed. We can lose hope about eternity and where we will end up. But the woman's not like that. She's completely grateful, and Jesus says, your sins are forgiven, your faith has set you free. Somehow, by this ludicrous attempt to come to Jesus, she finds forgiveness. Maybe you're watching this today and you're thinking, I've really stuffed up life. There's no way I'd be allowed in a church. You'd be allowed in TBC, everyone welcome, just as they are. But more importantly than that, God welcomes you. We can step towards Jesus just by saying sorry in a prayer and turning away from the wrong things we've done, and he will welcome us to him as his friends, as those who have been put right with God by him, because of him. Take care. I'm going to chill out for a bit again.